and she's frightened. Eleanor Morey took the Metro North train from Union Station. It was deserted. The conductor tipped his hat and said, "Merry Christmas, honey." The honey made her want to cry. Everything made her want to cry lately. Damn hormones. She got off in Stamford and could have taken a cab, but didn't. She transferred onto the 125th Street train and got off on Fordham Road. Eleanor's legs knew where to go. Her mind did too. A few months back, Eleanor had flipped through her mother's address book, looking for any trace of family that might be there. She looked up Amore. Nothing. She looked up Mom, and then Aunts. Nothing. Then she went to the B section, and there it was, the address, 1313 170th Street, Bronx. Only it wasn't listed under B for Bronx. It was listed under B for batshit crazy. Okay. Can we try something? Where's my...
I wanted to just see if I could speak without it. How do you turn it off? Okay. I think this is easier for me only because if I don't put my finger where the words are, I will lose them. So let's see if we can do that. Simon. Okay. The second passage, as this book moves back and forward in time, is told from Itzy's perspective. And Itzy, again, is trying to figure out the mysteries as well. And she's remembering her life growing up between the war years, World War I and World War II. And so that's a reflection of this part of the novel. Chapter 14. Can everyone hear me okay this way as well? Itzy. Let's go to Playland. What do you think? Are you bored of the beach, my lovelies? Asked Mama. Bunny came out of the bedroom. George and I ran in from the porch. Fee and Mimi slammed the screen door, giggling and dropping clothespins from clutched aprons. "Oh yes," shrieked George. Playland was a treat for many reasons. Spending money, sugar, death-defying rides, all things Mama didn't like. But she had a gleam in her eye that day, and we understood. Papa was supposed to come that morning with the boys. It was already afternoon, and they still weren't in sight. So Playland for us was his punishment. We could read her mind. Oh, so you think you can keep me waiting? You think you can worry me? Well, let's see how you like it, Mr. Amore. Hope you come home and think we've been carried off by gypsies. And later, when I get my hands on you, you'll be eating scones. Yes, those scones you like, the ones that make you dizzy. As we made our way down the street toward the beach and boardwalk, I looked back for a moment at our summer place. All the cottages looked the same from far away. The street faced the beach, and we all had the same view. The neighborhoods segregated themselves. Mama's block was Irish, and we called our cottage Mama's house. Summer belonged to her and her ways. The family of her childhood was gone, but the house was still there. It was small, but lovely. One large, long room with 2 bedrooms and a pull-down staircase for storage. Mama left the staircase down on rainy days, so we'd have room to play and stay out of her hair. Her hair. How could she ever know how much I wanted to be inside her hair? Thick and black, but not like our wild Italian locks. Shiny and dense, straight like silk, her hair. And my mama had gypsy eyes that glowed green, like the phosphorus sea, like the vistas her ancestors saw, a reflection of lives lived long ago. Right past the entrance to Playland was the line of tents that housed the freak shows. The baby in a jar, the miniature horse, the Siamese twins, and the fortune teller. As we passed her tent, she emerged from the multicolored fabric. "Mrs. Amore, how nice to see you again." Mama went stiff for a moment and then softened, her body floating toward the jingle-jangle woman. "Willow? Well, I never. How have you been?" Mama turned to Bunny. "My word, a childhood friend and a fortune teller too. Watch the children, Bunny, okay?" And then she was gone, swallowed up into the folds of the tent. George jumped up and down. "I want a candy apple. I want to go to the cyclone. I want to see the fun house." Bunny rummaged in her apron pocket and pulled out some shiny silver dimes. "Itsy, take him away, would you? I can't hear him for one more second without going batty." I didn't need coaxing. I took the money and my brother's hand. "1, 2, 3, you and me." We screamed and ran from my older sisters, free as birds and full of carnival air. It was our own sacred cry. We shared it with Henry, though. I remember wishing he'd been there too. But even without Henry, we had a grand time that afternoon, just Georgie and me. We ducked through crowds of people, no longer on the outside like usual, but inside the thronging, breathing beast of the crowd. They found us on the end of the boardwalk pier, our mouths sticky with all sorts of pink and red confections, our hearts still racing from the twists and dips of lightning-fast rides. I could tell something was wrong as soon as I saw Mama. She didn't hold her arms out to George for a hug. She stood apart from my sisters and looked past us, out over the ocean and into the setting sun. Okay, I'm not done. I'm not done.
I'll save some more.
Okay, clap harder later. Okay. One more. This is Eleanor's second morning at the Amore house in the Bronx. Anthony has just come to wake her up, and he's teased her a bit, and she's not happy at all about that. And there's a significant mystery happening there at this moment as well. "God, I'm a mess," she said to her reflection in the dresser mirror. Her hair was a thick tangle, her face rounder than normal, and the hormones were making her complexion think it was 16 again. "Yuck," she said, sticking her tongue out before she began to look for her clothes. She noticed a folded pile at the foot of the bed, a flowered dress, thick stockings, and a gray cardigan waiting for her. She put on the clothes and looked at herself again. Much better. They fit perfectly. Of course they do. "She's a witch, don't you know," she said into the mirror. She was trying to run a brush through her hair when the invisible crying child started wailing again. This time it wasn't stationary. The sound seemed to move through the walls. She pulled her hat onto her head instead, gave up on her appearance, and went out into the hall to investigate. "Zelda? This is crazy," she thought. Crazy wonderful, like a surprise party you knew was coming, only you didn't know the time, making each threshold a carrier of horrifying delight. She followed the crying out into the kitchen and then into the back hall where it got louder. "If you're not Zelda, who are you?" The sound drew Ellie all the way out into the snowy yard, but the crying muted right away, so she turned to go back inside when she heard her name. "Eleanor? Is that you?" There was a young woman, just about Ellie's own age, standing at the back gate, wearing a peacoat and waving mitten-clad hands back and forth furiously. Ellie walked into the yard, the sounds of her footfalls crunching as she made her way to the girl. "Do I know you?" "Of course you do. Come here quick and let me see you. I'm hiding from Mother." Her eyes shined with mischievous delight. As Ellie walked toward the girl, she tried to place her. Thin, short dark hair. I have absolutely no idea who this is. "Oh my gosh, you look just the same. I knew it was you. I just knew it." The two young women stood facing each other, and Ellie was taken aback as she was pulled into a tight embrace. "I've missed you." "I'm so sorry," said Ellie into the girl's ear. "I don't know who you are." "I'm Elizabeth." But you always called me Liz, and I liked it. It's okay if you don't remember me. It was a long time ago. All that matters is you're here and so am I. We'll be great friends again. But I have to go. Mother is calling, and I swear I am not doing one more chore, not one. Ellie watched as the strange girl ran away down the back alleys between the buildings. Who are you talking to? Anthony asked from behind her. Ellie jumped. You scared me. Don't do that. How about you start dressing appropriately for winter? Look at you, out here again with no coat and no shoes. I heard someone crying, and then I came out here and met a long-lost best friend I can't even remember. That's good, making friends, see? At home already. Anthony put his arm around her shoulder and pivoted her back toward the house. Let's go. The day isn't getting any longer.